Sometimes when you share research findings, you hear back, "Oh, we already knew that. Why is that? And is there anything we can do about it?" I'm Steve Portugal. I'm the author of Interviewing Users, second edition, brand new. This phenomenon is documented as a cognitive bias. It's called hindsight bias. It's also known as the knew it all along phenomenon, and it's how we're wired. In this bias, people distort their memories to match current events, but actually they didn't already know it. It's just this kind of bias that's functioning in how people think about things and how people react. And the thing with cognitive bias is a lot of them are especially difficult to overcome. And if you're not the person experiencing the bias, but the person encountering it in somebody else, it's really quite difficult for you. It's kind of incumbent on them to recognize and overcome their bias. And hindsight bias seems particularly difficult even when people are kind of made aware of it. But I think it's the reality that we're dealing with here. So, you can notice when this happens, sometimes it's not that they already knew it, but that the information you're presenting sounds sensible. It's not blowing their mind new stuff. It makes sense. It matches with their other experiences. But that's recognition, not recall. And so I think you can sometimes point out the difference between those. One of my colleagues asks when he encounters that, he says, "Well, if you knew that, why hasn't the product changed? Why hasn't the design changed? Why does this issue still persist?" This is all about kind of validating something that we knew before, and the framing on this that we already knew it. That's framing this result as bad. But actually, when you do research and you turn an assumption into knowledge, that's a significant reduction in risk, and you can remind people about that. We didn't know it, we assumed it, or we suspected it. Now, if you start out your whole process by engaging with these people that you are dealing with, stakeholders, colleagues, team members, to try to understand from them before the research, what is it that they know, then you're obviously in a much better position at this point when you get this pushback, if you do get this pushback. Well, if you did know this, why didn't it come up at the beginning of this effort? And one thing that you can do is when you deliver results that are in fact validating, that are built on information that we suspected or that we knew, just say it that way. As we knew, as we suspected, here's kind of where the results took us. So I'd be interested to hear what you've experienced and if you've got ways of coping with this. I'm Steve Portugal, and thank you for watching.